right, so yet another Wednesday evening, 8:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and we've all joined in for our mentorship live class. First half, I'm going to share my views on the markets and few trades. And later on, like always, in our mentorship classes, we open up for the question and answer sessions and discussions about the overall market too. So bumpy markets, extremely volatile markets. In fact, I was personally not in front of the screen for the major part of the day because of some personal reasons. But when I look back, I had few orders placed which never got triggered. And when I look back in the evening, when I wanted to check what exactly happened, boy, it was really volatile. It was really bumpy. It was really oscillating both ways. And yes, it is not easy to be positive at the end of such a day when you have such high, sharp volatility all over the place. So let's start with the daily chart. And as always, I'm using the Spider software, my usual bar chart, awesome oscillator, RSI, and a couple of stochastics. So we have 4 bars consecutive. I have a channel below which the closing price have shifted down. So channel seems to be a little violated. No trend for sure, right? There's not much trend for sure. My awesome suggests the fact that the momentum is easing off for almost 5 bars now. It's trying to push itself on the upside, but momentum is definitely slipping away. If I go by our definition of trend with the help of awesome that we do, we are in an uptrend with a sliding momentum. So not the best of market conditions to go long on. One time frame higher, we are Wednesday. So we have a situation where the weekly momentum is improving, but the trend is down on my weekly chart. So it's kind of sandwiched. It's kind of, punched on both the sides. And of course, look into the intraday charts and you don't go anywhere. You just go up and down and then you bounce back again. So it's all over the place. It's kind of getting messy. Not much rocket science, 11,000 psychological on the upside. Not much rocket science on the downside, 10,500 supports on the downside. From an immediate point of view, this current lows of 10,700 will definitely play a role. Short-term charts, I drill down to the 75-minute charts where it's inched up to an uptrend and don't see any kind of triggers. All that we probably will like to see a breakout, but every time we see a breakout, it slips down. An ultra short-term coming to 15 minutes, please. It's like a V recovery, a bounce back from today's intraday low in the afternoon. So if you have sailed through the day without much damage, if you have sailed through the day even with some profits, that's not a bad thing, because in this kind of a market, it becomes really difficult. Bank Nifty has been proving itself for quite some time now. If you see, the last 4 days of Bank Nifty has been positive, and all the 4 days have been making a higher high, which is not the case with Nifty per se, because Nifty is range bound. It's in an uptrend with positive momentum on the daily as well as the weekly. The lower time frames also suggest the same thing. So Bank Nifty stands out much better. One look at the weekly chart suggests the fact that it's slowly and surely inching back to its lifetime highs. So the performance from the Bank Nifty is essentially outperforming the overall market. To get an idea of that, we can just quickly open a report designer and we can quickly run a ROC, a rate of change, and we're standing on Wednesday. So let's quickly do a 3-day ROC. And if we run it on, let's say, all the indices, and we can quickly check that out of these 32 defined indices by National Stock Exchange, we have the private banks leading the way over the last 3 days. The reality, we'll take a look into that. We have the Bank Nifty, we have the PSU banks. So banks essentially are helping it. There's no doubt. We have the odd FMCG, the financial services, the fin services, the services, and some bit of pharma coming in down there. On the other side of the spectrum, we have the media. Obviously, it's overweight by Z Media, Z Entertainment, PAC, metals, not much. The mid caps are coming now. So overall, it's essentially the banks which are and the private banks which are leading the way forward. Let me, if we run the same thing on the bank Nifty, just change the universe and let's quickly go to bank Nifty. And we do a run, we find that 8% gains coming in from Axis Bank. Wow, that's one nice big move. Did move into an uptrend with positive momentum on the upside. 75-minute charts, pretty nice. It did offer some kind of a setup over here, maybe. Is it an aim and shoot? No, it's not an aim and shoot. This is a good breakout. ICICI Bank. Now this is one trade I did, but I exited way early on my point of action. I'll just share this trade with you later when we do the Q&A. But I did enter ICICI Bank above this red candles high, this red bars high. Okay, so I don't know if you followed any of my YouTube videos. I've been like repetitive saying that Larsen and Toubro and ICICI Bank are my long-term best picks because of the way the monthly charts have shaped out. IndusInd Bank is on the verge of a breakout. SBI doing good. Fed Bank also a breakout. IDFC is all right. I don't track it so much. RBL Bank seems like it's a breakout candidate. So banks, all of a sudden, the charts are looking pretty good. And yes, bank also, I've been placing an order, but I'm not getting triggered. On the other hand, it's one of those stocks which are down today, surprisingly. I'll share the setup also based on which I place the order later when we do the Q&A. So the banks are doing good. The banks are participating. That's always a good thing. Let me quickly take a look into the pharmaceuticals because we saw that there were some gains coming in from pharma. So Sun Pharma was completely beaten down for a long period of time. So we see some gains coming in from Aurobindo Pharma. We've got a breakout over there. Positive momentum on the upside. Sun Pharma, yes, it's inching up. Biocon range bound, but I like the fact that it's buying some time and the supports kicking in close to that 600 mark is quite impressive. Glenmark is on the other side, which is on a downtrend. It's actually slipping momentum. So Piramal is the other one range bound. So not much. Cipla, it's definitely an avoid at this juncture. Don't see much to work on. Dr. Reddy was a short trade. I think this short trade we discussed earlier last week in our class. DV's Lab is also completely range bound. Or was it the DV's Lab short trade that we discussed? It was the hide and seek short trade. Not on the cash, but you will be able to see it on the futures chart. Yeah, there you go. This is our, this is the channel which we call the zone of comfort, right? So this was the trade which we did, which I did. Now I'll explain this to you if I've not done already in the Q&A session. Let me get done with the overall view on the market. So what's happening in the market is range bound activity, price going nowhere. In fact, where we stand on the 9th of Jan, we were there on the almost same level on the 12th of December, or let's say 13th of December. And if we slip back furthermore around the 16th of November, 19th of November, and if we slip back furthermore, we come back to the 3rd of October. So if you notice, we've not gone anywhere whatsoever. Traders market, but difficult market to find some degree of consistency. I would rather go with my setups, trade less. That's been my the trades at my end also. Very less. Whenever I have a confirmation, then only. And keep your bets small. Wait for the market to show some strength. I have a positive signal in these two lows on some other indicator which suggests that the market can actually go up. Now, honestly, based on my experiences, that I've seen over the last close to 15 years, I will not be surprised at all if the market breaks out of 11,000 and goes all the way up to close to that 11,500 mark. I will not be surprised at all. But it does not mean that I am bullish. Okay, the charts are telling me to stay neutral. I am neutral. If the overall environment is getting bearish and a lot of people are talking about bearishness or the markets coming down, then I will not be very surprised if we get a big breakout on the upside. If it slips on the other side, flip side, if it breaks 10,700, 10,500 and comes further down, I will also not be very surprised, right? So I'm keeping myself neutral, but I'm just pulling examples, or you get a sense, or you can call it the gut feeling or whatever, is from my past experiences, is I will not be at all surprised if we get a big breakout. The important thing is banks are leading from the front, but the other sectors are not supporting the Nifty 50 to show that kind of strength. So the banks will probably tire down and slow down. And at that point, at that juncture, some new sector has to come in to support. And IT has to come in, or the metals have to come in. All right. The few financial services companies have to come in, or else it'll be difficult for the Nifty to break out. But let's keep a very close watch. It's a difficult market. It's a tough market. Jans are known to be tough, so it'll be interesting to see what we have in store till we again meet next Wednesday and talk about the markets, right? So I'll lay down my observations and inference on the overall market. And now, like we always do in our mentorship classes, let's talk about your trades, let's talk about my trades, and I'll take up your questions. Okay.